Okay, so we're starting with today holding in Chulin Daf Memvov. And we're going to be starting the man with base stopped specifically in the end of where the sugya gets a little more complicated, so we can tackle it to get together. Until where does the spine go to? Memhe with base in the bottom.
6 lines up from the bottom.
Yeah. Until where the spine goes to. You have to go into the frushes where it goes and starts splitting. Because the way it is, as Rashi explains, the spine goes down and then it starts, there's what?
Branching out.
Branching out. It starts going into the thighs and it continues down and continues into the tail. And there's another frushes and then there's a third one. They split out, there's a few intersections over there. So he says until we have frushes. Also come into Abudo, sounds like he was traveling to Bechuzoyim. He's about to be a Rav. He needs to know the halachas. He says, where is it? He says, go bring me a goat and I'll show you. He brought him one which is very fat. Only I can't show it to you because it's too fat. You can't really reach. I want to show you from the outside where it is. You can't get there. We didn't have time to open it up. I say kochu. She brought him something which is very thin, very skinny. Only bleat in favor loyadia, which means because it's so skinny, it's pushing up on the Rashi explains that the legs are pushing up into the spine, and therefore it becomes very, very, very small. It's very hard to detect it. Only talk Gemara. I'll give you a Gemara. Until the first one, until the first intersection, to fall the first branching, treifel. Shlishi, so in the third branch on, if there's any hole in it, kshev. I don't know about the second one because it's 3 branches. So right, it goes out and it's split into branches, like it's like a lulav, like a tree. So the first one, treifel. The third one, kosher. The middle one, I'm not sure.
When he says ad achas, does it mean before the first one?
Oh, the Gemara can address all that. Says the Gemara, when I say ad achas, that it means including the one, it's going to be treifa or not. Even when you tell me it's not including the one, what about the actual place where the branch is out? You have the spine, you have 2 things sticking out of it, and the 2 things sticking out of it are, I have the pictures, okay? So they have the things that are sticking out, he's saying it's not included from there on. But what about the actual section? Here it is. Here's the picture.
Yeah.
You have it over here. I don't know if you're not all the Gemara. Yeah. So basically it's over here. You see this is page Chafaf. So if you see over here, you have these 3 branches. So it says until the first one, you say until the first, that is for sure treifa. From the third, it's for sure ksheira. The shaila is, what about here? So when he said, and this includes the first, which means includes this space, or does not include the first. When I said that in here again. Then he says, what about the actual place of intersection? This area right over here. This area right in this place, in the place of the connection, what about that? So then he says, if it's not, it's v'lo b'chlal. So says the Gemara, so you're saying it's not pure parsha. Pure shatzomahu. So here we have machlekes Rashi. Rashi learns parshat zomahu means the actual branching, where you have the branch coming out. And now I want to know about a hole on this in the branch itself. Like if I have where the red arrow goes over here, there you have a pasha. I mean, in the branch is it? If I'm telling you that this is all treifel, including the intersection, including till here. So what about the pasha that comes out? Is there a problem? There's a hole in it. So he says. So what about Parsha Tidoin Kibosar? So he said it's called the Kibosar, not like the Ray, or not. You don't look at it the treifel like the Shedra. Sorry. So he says, my la pasha rishon v'shniya. Are we talking about the first and second coming out? I mean, wherever it's sticking out is not going to have a problem. No, we're talking about the third one because the third one is already for sure. From here on, is not anymore treiful. So it's coming out for is also not treiful. Billy, for what about the bird? You have to go down below.
What is it when he says my lab? What my lab Rishon Shniya and then what? Just like Rishon Shniya is.
He has a din that it's not going to be part of the spine. We'll have a din of basar.
So the frosha will also be.
The frosha itself, meaning frosha means this.
Why would you?
And this.
If the part of the middle is not part of the spine,
it is part. Okay. Oh, that's the question. If it's so mad then including it,
those would be treifa.
Until it be treifo. What about things sticking out of it?
So it's fine. That means tax. If they don't have those things, they
so that's shiloh. Of course, if a treifo means I don't connect it to the spine, but it's not the spine itself. This is the spine. This is already like some bones going out. Shiloh is next because treifo for that. So we say we don't have a raya. Then he said, what about the oifel? What about the bird? So he said he checked until Ben Gafayim. Ben Gafayim over here, and if you look at the bird, it just shows you where it is. So the Ben Gafayim is right over here. Like when it goes into it, it's very hard. And then you go more, it's like the question, how low do you go? So says the Gemara, boy, for below the Gafayim. Fish look at my being Gafayim. Oma Ula, the Kamina Kamate Ben Pasi, he was the first Pasi. Fires the Kamate Oifo, he brought him a bird. Or the Ad Ben Gafayim, and not more. The Sholach Ler Divine Sio, the Kombozo. So what happened was, he checked till there, and then he got a message from the base of Nasi, please come. So he got up and left. Easy because he holds, you have to check till here and not more. Or maybe because of the cover of the Nasi, after he got up, but really you should check more. So the Gemara does not answer this question. So in other we don't know the raya, we have to check in the bird until what place. Nidla koved, it says if you took at the liver and there's anything left in it, so then it's not treiful. Meaning, in other words, if nothing is left, it's treiful. Hanishtayim enoklum, if something is left, ksheiro. Avagadulah kazais, even though it's not a kazais. We're going to see this later. Not from Dalid. Because the Mishnah is gone. He's mentioned it this year this morning. The Mishnah is in Elu Treifus starts with Elu Treifus in the Behema and Elu Ksheres of Behema. Elu Treifus by Oif, Elu Ksheres by Oif. So next Mishnah is a Ksheres of Behema. So what has to be kosher? In order for a liver to be kosher, what has to be? You have to have kazais. But you just said even mashu. Says the Gemara, Omar Yeshiva le kasho. Ha Reb Chia, ha Reb Shimon bar Rebbe. So Machlokes is Reb Chia and Reb Shimon bar Rebbe. Ki had Reb Chia zori lei. Reb Shimon bar Rebbe mat bila. So Rashi brings the two explanations. Explanation number one, we're talking about this itself. We're talking about this discussion. Is it okay to eat it or not? So Reb Chia used to throw it away, and Reb Shimon bar Rebbe used to use it. That's the Machlokes is the story. Rashi is another shot. We're talking in general. Do you eat liver? So Reb Chia used to throw it away, not treif. Regular liver. You never ate the liver. And Reb Shimon bar Rebbe used to eat from the liver. Meaning, what's the machlokes? Is it very healthy to eat from the liver? Why? So Rashi explains that Reb Shimon bar Rebbe held that the liver is essential for the nefesh of the behemoth, and therefore eating it is good for your nefesh. Because whatever is good for the nefesh of the behemoth is good for you as well. So therefore, he used to eat it. Reb Chia did not hold that such an essential. I mean, the machlokes is what happens when it's treif over there.
What is this? What is the argument about the code?
No, the argument is a treif on the cover has to be how much has to be left over.
Okay, so
in other words, is it essential to have a covet, or as long as you have something, you're good? So that's the machlokes. But the machlokes was based on. I mean, you found out the arguing this depends on did you have any reason to eat from a liver? So Chia says no. What's the point if you're eating the liver? Shimon bar Rebbe says no. It's the nefesh of the behemoth. So that shows the machlokes.
And therefore, it needs at least
a kazais, yeah. The simonach ashirim mekamtzim, meaning the opposite. That's why even less than that's why even less. He says, right? So you
say
say, oh yeah, you're right. That is right. So go to Shimon have to have a kazais. For Simonoch, the fact that Shimon Rebbe used to keep the covet and not throw it away, Ashiri mekantim. Rich people are stingy. They don't spend too much. That's the rich. But I'm saying the point is that because as if to, remember Shimon Rebbe is the son of the Nasi, he always kept the liver. Rabbi Chiya is the one who threw it away. So it's an example. Came the pulmus, which means came soldiers to pulmudusa. Our kurabo Rav Yosef ran away. Pogo behu Rav Zerus. Rav Zerus meets them. Right? It explains over here. The Rav Zero did not have to run away. Why not? Because Rav takes says why not? Because his father was the gabbai of the king. He was the tax collector, so he had connections with the king. He didn't have to run away. So he was steady, but they were running away. So Rav sees them. Amalu are rukoyi, runners. Kazai shamu b'mokom moro. The place of the kazais they need to have of the liver is when it connects to the mara, to the gallbladder. Not the place of the gallbladder. It's a different place called moko shichayo, which is when it's connected to the kidneys. That's what he says. Because you have machlokes, you don't know what the psak is. So you need both. We require both to have a kazais of the liver and the place to attach to the mara. Yeah. What happens if you have a kazais, but it's not in one place? You're taking different pieces. You have in the liver has leftovers. Together they're all kazais, but each one on his own is not a kazais. Kiritsuo now. What happens if you have a kazais, but it's in one long shape instead of a big one? Kazais meruded now. What happened when it's meruded, but it's very, very thin, which is less ritzuo, Rashi says. So the one says take. What happens if the liver moved from its place, but it's still connected to its base? There's no connection. I don't know about dildu. I don't know what it means. I don't know what the problem is. You say you need to have a kazais mokamor or kazais mokushichayo. How's it? So the fact that it's not connected, disconnected, as long as you have kazais left, you're good. So you have good, so you're good to go. Okay. Going on in the Mishnah, you have a hole in the lung. Meaning there's two layers of protection that the lung has. So Shaila is when it says that it has a hole, are we talking about the outer layer or the inner layer? If you want to know a simon of what it is, the inner one, it's the red. Vardo is it means it's a
rose.
Like a rose. It's like a red cover that the ray is sitting in it. That's the inner layer. That's right. Pshito says the more. If you have a hole in the outer layer, but not in the lower layer, on the inner layer, tato magin. So the inner one will protect the rail. The iglit. If you have a rail that was peeled off, meaning the top part was peeled off, and we continue the mebom base, keaino sumko, meaning you have only the inner part which is red, and it's a red part. So you see everything out, the whole outer part was peeled off, and the inner one which is red is staying there. Ksheru. So we know that. So if you have a hole in the top one, as long as the bottom one is intact, you're good to go. What happens if the inner one has a hole in it and the outer one does not? Is it protected or not? The halacha is that it's making. It is making, in other words, either one of the layers of the Raya is protecting it.
Still good.
Still good. Kedav Yosef. Don't mind Yosef. Hareyu Davsha. You have some noise coming out of the Raya. You hear like a balloon, like you're coming out of it. If you know exactly what's coming out, you want to check if there's a hole in there. Musfinin ale, put on top of it. Gatfo. Gatfo is a feather. Oy roika, or saliva. Oy gila, which is straw. In the battle, so trade for if you like shares. What you're doing is you hear some noise coming out of the radio. You know where it's coming out from. Like a flat tire, similar.
Yeah.
You're putting on there something you want to check if it's coming out. So you put it, you see if the air comes out, it's going to pick up the saliva or the leaf or the straw. And if not, and this is what we bring a raya. That means it's only the inner one is open, not the outer one. So you're good to go. So you see over here that the outer one is enough. What happens if I don't know where the hole is? My sino, this is also very similar to tire. You bring a big bowl of water. It has to be lukewarm. You put it inside the bowl. Now, you don't put it in hot water. It hardens it. It shrinks it. Shrivels. What happens is, and that it closes the hole, so you can't really check it out. Don't put it in cold water. The mitrushim makes it hard. So what's going to happen? It's going to create a hole because it's not soft. That's why you put in lukewarm. And then what you do is you blow into the raya because you put air, like the raya is like a balloon, basically. That's the raya, open and closes. So you blow in from where? From the cutting, because the cutting is where the air comes from. You blow in, you let the raya inflate. If the water, you see bubbles in the water, treifa, because that means that the air goes into the water. If you like shero, because it's share, why? Tata in kivilor leinkuf. Only the inner layer is closed, is open, and the top is not. What about the noise? It's in between. You have the two layers coming in and out. So that's the Gemara says, that's why that's the rayo. Any one of them should be okay. Just see if they have your picture.
Even the outer one.
Even the outer one is good enough to be there. I'm curious to see if you have over here. Either just show the covet, what it's connected to, the maro. Okay, they don't have here the picture of the rayo. Say, continues the Gemara. Okay. Kufa Amarava Hayreya the Iglit Keino Sumcha. It came out, meaning it was peeled out apart. And the inner part is there, Ksher. So we're just chazering that. And Vomarova. So what's interesting about this is usually when the Gemara brings a Gufa, is to come and explain it. Gufa, we learned this and this, kasha, answer, problem, rayo, etc. Here we're not dealing with it. We just say Gufa, we're just bringing the sentence without talking about it at all. So why are we bringing it? Because I want to say the next thing, Ve'omarova. I want to bring you now a list of Shitas of Rova. So I say Gufa, Rova said this. Okay, and Rova said. It says Kive'eger over here on the side. That's what you see, Bobakama Umatzia. There's such a Gemaras. So you bring Gufa not to talk about the thing itself, only because you want to continue the sequence of Kshmos. So Vamarova Reo, Sheidimo, Ritzoso, Shero. Kulo Trefa. If you have a ray that became red, not that it peeled, as Rashi points out, and you have the inner part, that's okay. But the ray itself from the outside became red. If it became only partial red, it's fine. If it's the whole thing red, it's Trefa. I'm going to read the Ravo. My time. But why are you saying if it's only partial red, it's okay? The Adjobari, meaning it's going to heal back. Kulanam Adjobari. Because also when it's fully red, it will heal up back. Then we learn Vishash Kotsim, Verimosim, Achi Yetzim Emdam. Meaning, when you have, as Rashi points out over here, we have the dinim that we learned in Sech Shabbos. That there's a difference between the Shmoyna Shrotzim, the 8 specific Shrotzim mentioned in the Torah, and the other Shrotzim. The Shmoyna Shrotzim have a very thick skin. The other Shrotzim don't. So if you have blood that is you see like a red, black and blue mark, and all the other Shrotzim is meaningless because it's going to go back. It's that thick, that thick to keep there. By the Shmoyna Shrotzim, it will stay there, right? So he says, over there, so we're talking about Gabi Shabbos, did you cause blood to come out or not? So if you're talking about the regular shvatzim, so there's no issue because you are not you're not dealing with because the blood is not coming out. But by the shvona shvatzim, even though it didn't come out of the body, it's in the skin, so you took the blood to the skin, right? If you look at Rashi, just quickly, you see inside, like frogs, their skin is very soft. Except for the 8 shvatzim which is kosher. The thing is, not how the blood comes out. Even though blood is there, because the skin is so soft, when it gets red very quickly. So we get to ray in a moment, and we get to Shmuel Shvatz, and it's a little different. So he says, so what did he say? He says if the entire ray became red, then you have a problem. So he says, why? It's going to heal. You see, if it becomes blood, it's not a problem. As long as it's inner, it's going to heal. Maybe you'll say that the rayo is more similar to the Shmoyne Shvatzim. Tetanyo, Nitzur Adam, Al Bishalo Yotzo, by the Shmoyne Shvatzim, if you have blood in the skin. Even if it did not go out, so what's the difference between Miktsas and Kuloi? If you hold that there was blood there coming out, so it has a hole in the blood, is, it's not a good rayo. What does it matter if the entire thing red or not? So there's no difference. So there's no difference. He disagrees, so there's no difference. If a rayo dried up part of it, becomes treif. How much is that? Meaning that if you put a peel in it, if you put your nail in it, it peels. What is the definition of yevesha? So he says we're talking here about the ear of a bechor. This one knows as a bechor's expert. This is in bechor's of Lamed Zayin. You got there? Mm-hmm. So if what is a dry ear of a bechor? If you have a hole in it and no blood comes out. What it means that you can peel it with a nail. So that's much drier. By the ear of bechor, which is outside of the animal. So there, if you get to the stage that blood doesn't come out, so it's not going to heal. It's going to stay. It's gone. But by rayo that there's no air over there, so then it goes back and becomes bari unless you become so dry. If you have rayo, that it becomes gildi. What does it mean? It means a lot of peels, not smooth. In other words, it's black. Chazuso, different colors. Kshev. Not a problem. That's a kshev. We have over here so they're showing over here a picture of you have a little bit red, some black dots, or some peels in the rail. And this is important to know. This is the tsur of the rail. If you can see in the rail, we'll get more into it. There's 5 pieces of the rail. 1, 2, 3. It has 5 like wings. See? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think this is the 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
Pick it up, maybe the 5th. That center's like a centerpiece.
Centerpiece. So that's the rail, which we'll get more into that. So the more it says the red colors and night colors, it doesn't change. Okay, I think we'll stop over here because the next one has to goes a little bit in the gap to what the one's going to say them Zayin Amud. So we'll leave that Be'ez Hashem
Is it right, 30
for tomorrow. Yes.
Tomorrow, after or before?